Welcome to our next project. For this project, we are going to create a distance calculator. So when we pass the latitude and longitude of two places, we need to find the distance between these two places. The formula might look hard, but it's actually very easy, and with the help of mathematical functions in PHP we can easily do that. I haven't told you about mathematical functions, so it would be a good practice for you to go through the PHP documentation on php.net and find out about those formulas yourself. Like all the other projects, there might be different approaches. Pause the video, try to find a solution yourself, and then come back and let's see what I would do in order to solve this problem. Okay, let's start with the solution. Let's say I do not know the formula at all, and I just want to go through the steps one by one and show you my solution of this problem. Let's see, the very first thing says that calculate the differences of longitude of the second place and the first place. So what we need is to write place A. Let's say I have two places and place A is longitude minus place B longitude, and let's store them in a variable called, I don't know, longitude difference equals to this. This was the first step. Then the next step is to convert this value to radians. Well, there is a function. If you look for degrees to radians in php.net, you will get this function, take to radian, and this will convert this longitude difference to radian. So let's store that in a variable as well. Longitude difference in radian equals to this. This was step 2. Now step 3 is to calculate its cosine. So the function to calculate a cosine value in PHP is cos. We need to pass the value in radians that we have calculated with the other function. Let's store it in a variable longitude diff in rad cosine. Okay, this is the step 3, longitude difference in radians. Now it's a cosine. The fourth step is to convert the latitude of both places to radians. So let's say latitude, place latitude A in radians equals to, do you remember, deg to rad, and then we need to pass place A latitude. We need to calculate the same thing for latitude of the place B as well. So latitude B in radians equals to deg to rad, place B latitude. This was step 4. Now for step 5, we need to calculate the sine and cosine of both converted latitudes. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to have 4 new variables. Let's copy this name, sine, and I would have cosine, and I would have the B as well, sine, and I would have the second latitude for cosine as well. I need to calculate all of them. So let me do this. Okay. The function that helps us calculate the sine of a value is sin, and then we pass the value. And for cosine, we have already seen is cos. Then let's calculate the sine and cosine of the second value as well. Perfect. Step 5 completed. Now the last step is to sine of converted latitude multiplied plus cosine multiplied. Okay. Oh, I've just noticed that here I forgot to write cosine. I put the parentheses, but I forgot to write the cosine function. Okay. Now I need to multiply these two sine values that I have calculated and plus cosine of all these 3 values, because these are the values that are cosine and these two are sine. So let's do it. Let's say this sine multiplied by this sign plus this cosine multiplied by this cosine multiplied by this cosine. Let's store this to a variable called distance equals to this. Now at the moment I do not have any places, so let me bring some places. Place A equals to latitude and longitude, and let's say I have another place as well. Place B, latitude and longitude. So let me bring some information from Google. This is the latitude for Paris and this is the longitude for Paris. And let's say I want to have Berlin as well. This is the latitude for Berlin and this is the longitude of Berlin. This is Berlin. This is Paris. So let's see till now what we are getting here. Let's echo this distance value. Echo dist PHP index.php, and it's getting this 0.9905. This is actually the correct distance, but let's make it more human readable. If you got this number, this is correct, no problem. But for an extra exercise, we are going to make it more human readable. I want to convert it to kilometers. The very first thing is to calculate the arc cosine of this value. So we say a cos of the dist, and then we need to multiply that to the radius of Earth. The radius of Earth is 6,364.963 kilometers. I can store it in a variable, radius in kilometers. If you want to calculate it in miles, you can use miles, but I prefer kilometers, so I'm calculating that number. The next thing I need to do is to just simply multiply this by this, and this would be the readable distance. So I can say, okay, readable distance or dist in km equals to this. And now if I echo this number, echo dist in kilometers, okay, let me remove that and run the code again. Okay, this is 876 kilometers, and that's the correct answer. The distance between Paris and Berlin from those latitudes and longitudes, that's the correct distance in kilometers. Now that we have already gone one step further and made it more human readable, let's go one more step further and convert everything to a function so it would be cleaner. Let's create a function, calculate distance. It would get two places. Both of them need to be array, place A and array place B, and then put everything inside this function. We can also add another argument, human readable equals to true. Now we have already got the place A, place B, and we come here, we calculate this number. If it's not human readable, then just simply return this. Otherwise, continue and return this. Okay, now if we run this function, I want to calculate place A and place B. Let's run calculate distance and pass place A and place B. The last argument, because we have already set a default value, is optional. This would return a value, so I'm going to store it in dist equals to this and then echo this dist. Okay, now let's run our code again to see if everything is working. Perfect. And now if I pass the last argument to false, it would give me the first value. Perfect. This is the end of this project. I hope you had a lot of fun. Now let's go to the next topic and keep learning more about PHP.